What's going on, folks? Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling great. Let's get it in. When I was a kid, I used to think, damn, does God hate humans? I used to think that a lot. Like, does God hate human? Because after Adam and Eve ate from the tree of knowledge, they basically gained consciousness. They basically gained awareness. And God did not like that. He was so pissed. He said they become like one of us. Let's kick them out before they reach their hand and eat from the tree of everlasting life. So God kick y'all out so we don't partake in the tree of life, of everlasting life. So we don't live forever like he does. I thought he loved us. Why wouldn't you want your creation to live with you forever? He's pissed off, and then he said, you know what? Y'all niggas can't be like us. I don't want you guys in my presence. So in order for me, I'm gonna kick y'all out so y'all don't partake in the tree of life. And as a kid, I used to think like, damn, that's kind of fucked up. It's kind of fucked up. Like, God would do that. Like, don't he love us? That's crazy. And not only that, the thing that really got to me was the Tower of Babel. Here you got humanity creating a tower to reach to God, and they almost reached to God, and God said, you know what? Let's knock down the tower so they won't reach to heaven. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you want your creation to meet you up in heaven? What's the problem? Not only that he knocked down the towers, he created different languages. And now, when he did that, everybody was confused. They didn't know what they were saying to each other because everybody was speaking different language. That's the beginning of division. That's how you divide and conquer people and control people. If I can't understand you or you can't understand me, how are we gonna work together and evolve our mind, evolve our consciousness? That's what we were doing. And God did not like that. God said, no. We gotta confuse the language. As a kid, I never understood why God did that. And when I asked my dad, and the pastors, they'll be like, oh, God is righteous. God don't, they make all type of excuses that don't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like, they make all type of excuses. And if that's the case, why create us in the first place? If you knew everything that was gonna happen, you knew Adam and Eve was gonna take take the forbidden fruit. You knew you was gonna create the Tower of Babel. It's like, why create it in the first place? If I had the knowledge, if I knew everything, think about this. If I knew everything, right? Let's say if I create an AI robot, and I knew the AI robot would gain consciousness and destroy everything, right? Why would I even bother to create that AI robot? I wouldn't do that. But for some reason, God didn't give a damn. It's two things. It's either he's not all-knowing or he's pure evil. It gotta be it. Or he's just a jackass or idiot. It gotta be. Oh, you can't question God. You can't question God. Why can't question God? I got a brain to think, right? You got a brain to question things. So I'm blaspheming for questioning God? If he created this complex brain, right? Come on, man. It just, things like that, it didn't make sense to me as a kid. And I used to ask my dad, damn, where God come from? Where is God? Like, you know what I mean? Like, where's God? Does God have a mom? Does God have a father? They always refer to God as him. If we know if someone is referred to him, that means it has to be physical, right? They always refer to God as a father. I used to think, well, if God's a father, that means he has to be a man. And if God's a man, that means he had to have a mom. They refer to God as a father. That means God must have been physical. That means God had to have a man, right? He had to have been a man. And if God a man, he had to come from a woman. And if God had as a mom, what does that make God mom is? Wouldn't that make her the original goddess? I know that might not make no sense to a lot of people, but walk with me here. They refer to God as him. If you refer to somebody as him, that's a physical attribute of somebody. You know what I mean? That's a physical attribute for somebody. And if God's a spirit, why do y'all call that spirit a father? I don't understand that. How can a spirit be a father? A spirit is neither male or female. So if that's the case, why y'all calling him God? Oh, he this, he that. There you go with he again. Come on, man. Anyways, y'all be good. Y'all still wearing them out.